107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B.
Could you see, or were you on the path to do anything else prior to this, or could you see yourself doing? What were you?
I was going to become an art teacher.
Wow.
Which
I could totally see that though.
Yeah. Like I would still do it.
Yeah.
But I just got involved with music around the same time I was studying. Also, I realized that the reason I wanted to be an art teacher was because of I had a problem with being taught art or the way that art is taught to people. I don't know if you can teach art in that sort of traditional sense.
Right.
You kind of have to, it's something you have to recognize in a young person and know the best way to nurture it for the individual artist, because not every artist is going to be the same. And it's the same with music. But in that sense, I was very lucky because in my school, music was cared about, you know, and I learned recently it's getting cut from a lot of schools and things, and
especially
I
here.
think that's I just don't think that's fair, because it's something that's so phenomenal that it deserves to be nurtured. But anyway, I got involved with music, and lots of friends I had at the time were becoming singers and writing their own songs, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. So I just did.
You just did it.
And then I sort of left college one day and I just went for it, and I don't know, it's brought me nothing but happiness.
Yeah. Were your parents mad at first?
Yes.
Of course.
But I would be, you know, if I was my parent at that point, So but I proved to them I could do something with it, I suppose. So yeah.
Well, we're glad that you took the route that you did.
Thank you.
Because you're here and you're actually about to drop a new album, July 31st, Blood.
Yes.
Now, I heard that you went with your mother to Jamaica for this album.
I did,
Back to your roots.
Yes.
Why was that move important for you?
So it wasn't, to begin with, it wasn't necessarily for the album in any way. I was just going on holiday with her, or vacation. I was going on vacation with my mum. And we stayed with some family that I hadn't seen since I was 6 years old. So it was really nice to see them again. But also because I've been brought up by my Jamaican grandparents, I knew obviously a lot about the culture and the food and, you know, the accent we talked about.
Patois. Love it.
So it was the first time I was actually seeing it all in situ, you know, and being there in what felt so strangely familiar, but also was completely alien.
Right.
So it was just really significant because of all of these things, and meeting family also that I had never met. And walking down the street in a very small town centre, and then my auntie saying, you know, pointing out cousins to me in the street. So it was just really moving and amazing. And the last time my mum had been there was actually before I was born.
Wow.
So she went there with my dad, and, you know, they had this amazing time, and she showed me the bars that they went to and just telling me all the stuff they did. So it just felt like really appropriate to be there. And the time I went, I don't know, it just seemed really right. And also I should mention I had been to Greece when I was a kid with my dad. So it made sense to do the same thing, but with my mum. But when I got back, because I had the title Blood in my head for a while.
Okay. And that symbolizes what for you?
Family.
Okay.
And, you know, ancestry and bloodlines. So it was in my head, and I just really liked the word, and I thought it would be a nice lyric, perhaps. But it never really made it into the title of any songs. But what I was writing about after the trip was all my experience in Jamaica, and I wrote loads of songs just about my family. My cousin had a baby.
Wow.
So I was just talking all about it. So it seemed really appropriate to call the album Blood. And there's a track on there called Green and Gold.
I love that track.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which was actually recorded here in New York City.
Okay.
At the Red Bull Studios.
Okay.
And it's all about my childhood and going to Jamaica and being from Greece and Jamaica, but actually being quite a separate thing from both those places. So yeah, it just seemed to make sense to call the whole album Blood. So yeah.
Wow. So we know sonically, of course, this is going to be different than your previous work.
Yes.
Are you afraid of taking that new step and taking your fans with you?
That's a good question, because I'm not necessarily afraid, but it does cross my mind, you know, whether the same people that liked the first one would like the second one. But also I think, you know, if they like me, this is me doing it. I'm not, you know, I don't feel like I've had to compromise my own taste for it, and I've definitely expressed myself how I wanted to. So if they're going with me on this, and hopefully they will, but it does cross my mind. But actually, also I don't care.
As an artist, I mean, you really can't.
That's the thing, because I think all the albums will have a natural development from one another. So the third album, I'm actually incredibly excited to see what that sounds like.
Okay.
Because I think the second and first are so different.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'm just so glad that you're here and that you're not compromising, as some artists do. And you're staying true literally to your roots. I mean, this is an album dedicated to your family and your people and where you come from. So that's pretty amazing. What's the name of the single that's out right now?
Well, there's two out at the moment. One is called Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
And the second one is called What You Don't Do. So that's coming now.
And you performed Unstoppable. You were at Essence.
I was at Essence.
Okay.
I've done kind of a miniature tour.
You're doing a tour?
Yes.
Okay.
So I played in New Orleans for Essence Festival. Then we went to LA and I played a nice show there. And then last night we just played the Bowery Ballroom. Wow. So yeah, it was really fun.
You've been getting a lot of love in the States, I'm sure.
It feels so good here, and I'm so grateful. Yeah. So yeah, feels good.
We're grateful for you. The album Blood, out July 31st.
Yes.
And we're excited to of course have it, listen to it, absorb it. And whenever you're here in the States, please don't be afraid to come by. You family now. Now you family.
Well, that's fact.
Fact. Hey, come on now. Look at us using terms.
Thank you.
Fact. Yeah, so fact. Come back.
I will do.
I'll get you some jerk chicken from Flatbush. You've been to Brooklyn? You've been to Brooklyn.
I did actually some recording for the first album in Brooklyn. Okay. Some of the title track was recorded in the house that I was staying in Brooklyn. Okay.
So we'll go to Flatbush Avenue. We'll get you some jerk chicken, some plantain, your family. You come back and we'll have a good time.
That sounds delightful.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. You want to give a shout out to anybody, your fans, anybody listening?
Hello, I'm Lianne La Havas. I just wanted to say thank you for listening to the music if you have. And you can also get in touch. I love to hear from you, and I have Twitter, have all the social networks, Facebook, Twitter, and it's all just my name, Lianne La Havas. So don't hesitate to drop me a line, and see you soon. Thank you.
So we'll end it. Lianne La Havas on 107.5 WBLS. Peace.